Welcome to Espiritu Coffee Chats, the podcast where we blend wellness, spirituality, and business to help you live with intention and balance.
We're your hosts, Valerie and Arlene, two Latina entrepreneurs here to guide and grow with you. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It's been a little minute since we've been out for summer vacation, but we're back in action. I'm going to just jump into your intro because I feel like having an introduction is always so good because I feel like I never do it justice. So I'm just going to read it off.
Perfect.
Okay, so today I get to sit down with my beautiful friend and soul sister and co-host, Arlene Salcedo. And Arlene is a spiritual mentor, a healer, and founder of Luna Soul Wellness, where she guides people back to their authentic power through human design, energy work, and soul-led practices. And she just launched her brand new human design certification course. Yay! Which is all about helping coaches, healers, therapists, leaders, and entrepreneurs not only understand human design, but truly embody it so they can create deeper alignment in their lives and help others do the same. And what I love most about Arlene is that she doesn't just teach the work, she lives it in her everyday life. She's such a powerful example of what it looks like to trust your intuition, to lead from heart, and step fully into your divine purpose. So I'm really excited to dive into this conversation today and not only share Arlene's wisdom, but also how human design has impacted me personally and in my business. So we'll bring you guys into the introduction and get you familiar with human design.
Yes, it's one of my favorite topics. I enjoy it. I definitely embody it. And I just feel like it's such a tool that I stumbled upon by actually listening to podcasts.
Oh, nice.
That's how I found it. I think it was That's So Retrograde was the podcast that I had explored it through. And then that was back in like 2017. So it was super new. I think the women who were running the podcast had kind of stumbled in it too. They were from LA. So it was like, you know, not trendy because it wasn't even that trendy, but it was kind of like, ooh, what's this?
Okay.
So that's kind of how I was listening to that podcast. And I would listen to them regularly. So I was just so intrigued because they were talking about like, it's so specific to you. And I was like, ooh. And at that point I was I think about 37 years old.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. You know, so I'm in midlife already, or maybe 36, either 36 or 37. I can't remember. But I was like, I think I just finished yoga teacher training. And I was just like in my Pandora's box, just opening. And I was like, you know what? Now's the time to really dive deeper into learning more about myself. I've already did some spiritual work and stuff like that, but I felt like I wanted to get to the core root of who I truly was. I knew about astrology already. I had barely opened up Pandora's box with Ayurveda. And then they were like, yeah, human design has Ayurveda in it and it has astrology in it. And there's all these other things in it too. And I'm like, ooh, awesome. Dumpster dive. My Virgo brain was like, hell yeah. So I dove into it and I bought a book. I tried to find any other podcasts that were out there that were giving, episodes on it, which were far few in between. And then I stumbled upon Jenna Zoe. And I think that's who they were interviewing was Jenna
okay.
Zoe. So she was one of the very first ones to come out with, human design. And she had announced that she was going to do a reading certification. And by that time, I got my reader certification, maybe like late 2018. So I had already from the first episode I heard of it up until when she was going to announce her first round of certifications, I had already I was in the rabbit hole. My feet were hanging out. I was in it and I got it really quick. So I just started with my chart. And then I was like, everything I was reading, I was like, oh my God, this is so me. And the funny thing is, is that when I first put my information in, I put it in as 12 a.m. So it came up as a manifester. Ooh. And I was like, okay, I kind of relate to being a manifester because manifestors are kind of they're similar to projectors or they can kind of feel and they're very vibey because we have an open sacral. And then, so for that first year, I was just reading about manifestors and I was like, this kind of relates, and I was like, okay. And then I don't know, something was like, go look at your birth certificate again. So I did. And it was 12 p.m.
Oh my God.
Not a.m. So I know that a lot of people can tend to like actually get their wrong birth time. So that's kind of something that I was like always joking about. But at least I was able to identify like with the being a non-sacral. And so that's where I was identifying with the manifestor part. But once the projector part came in, because that's who I am, I'm a human design projector, energy type. Then I was like, okay, now this is the missing piece, but in the sense of this is the missing piece for like how my energy works with other people.
Okay.
And also how my energy works within myself and how can I cultivate. I mean, at that time I had my 3 kids at home. My oldest was in high school. My middle one was in elementary, like maybe first grade, maybe even kindergarten. And then my youngest one was like a baby or a toddler around that time. So I was juggling a lot and just realizing like, I'm tired. How come all these other moms can like do all the things, have all this energy? And I'm like, I'm freaking tired. Like I need rest. I need my space. Okay. So that helped a lot with understanding how my aura worked and honoring that energy that I didn't have.
Nice. Yeah. So before we dive in a little bit more into human design, so who did you create this course for and what kind of person would feel called to it?
I'm creating this course for thought leaders who really want to dive deeper into the spiritual realms and the spiritual modalities, because I do love that human design has 5 different archetypes within it. And each of those archetypes are so intertwined with each other and they all speak to each other. And you can really use that human design system, because that's basically what it is, it's a system, to really dive deeper into your personal development, your spiritual development, your subconscious growth. And then you can also, for example, I really noticed how it's been helpful when I do readings for others. And I've also been able to find so much success in using human design as a way to generate income for my spiritual business. So it's for people who are really wanting to dive deeper with their clients. Let's say you're a therapist, you're a life coach, a personal development coach, a spiritual wellness coach. By having somebody's chart in front of you, you like take out the rest of the world and you focus on them. And everybody's so different. Like you can't put everybody in a box. And so that's where I feel like human design gives you a shoebox of every different type of shoe. You might be the same type of Nike, but you might be a different color. You might have different shoelaces. So this gives, whoever are the coaches and the therapists and the spiritual development professions, I guess, a way of really looking at their client for who they truly are. And also removing their own biases, because sometimes, we have our own unconscious biases. So this helps you kind of be like, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was this, but let me just look at my client as an individual and who they truly are. Human design gives you literally, I tell everybody, it's like a user's manual.
Yep.
And, sometimes people can be so conditioned to be who they really aren't that the people who I mentioned, for example, the therapist, the personal development coaches, the business coaches, all that stuff, they can really use that as a tool to help the client really find who they truly are and bring them back into alignment, but also release them from the things that are just holding them back that they picked up, maybe from childhood, maybe from trauma, maybe from the way that the world tells us to be and run. So that's one avenue. And then, like I said, the other avenue is just adding something extra to your business. I felt like when COVID, hit, I couldn't teach yoga anymore. So I was like, let me see what else is in my little bag of tricks over here. And I was like, I'll just do human design readings, And so it diversifies your income, it diversifies your business, and it just really brings an added layer of spiritual modalities to your business and to your practice.
Nice. Amazing. So you talked a little bit about how human design kind of gives you like the shoebox. Can you go a little bit more into detail in very simple terms for people who maybe are not familiar with human design? Like what are the energy types and how do you use human design to help them?
Yeah, the energy types are, there's 5 energy types. The first one is going to be the reflector, and that's only 2% of the population. And they're very unique in the fact that there's not a lot of them around. There's only 2%. So for the reflector, it's helpful for them to understand that they're a reflector because they are like literally somebody who is so different from the rest of the world. They are like just so different in the way, and they also take in so much energy. So they don't have There's 9 energy centers in human design, and they don't have any of them defined. So that just means that they take in a lot of people's energy, a lot of the environment that they're around. So their environment is going to dictate how they play life out of all the other energy types. The second one is the manifestors. Those are my queens and my kings. Those are the ones who are here to bring things forward and really initiate and start things. The biggest thing that manifestors, I think, have the responsibility to do is to inform so that they can get everybody on the bandwagon that they want to start to create and cultivate, because they have like this very energy of like if you love astrology, like Aries, they're like that go-getter warrior energy. So they're here to kind of like push everybody to the limits of like, what can we do and how can we change? And let's like get the ball rolling. And then the next energy type would be the generator, which is Miss Valerie. And you guys are here to be just the like happy, like worker bees of this world. And I don't want to say it in like a worker bee type of way, but it's like you just give that like happiness to our realm and our world. And you also can do the things that you say you can do because you have the energy to do them, because you have your sacral defined. So you're one of the energy types that have their sacral defined, which is that where this energy just really radiates out of you. And then the next one is the projector. The projector is here to kind of be similar to the manifestor in the fact that they're here to guide versus like lead. So it's like, oh, here's all the systems, they're like the person behind the switchboard, like playing, messing around with life and be like, ooh, if we put this system into place or that system, then this is what happens. So they're just kind of here to guide the collective. And then the manifesting generator is part generator and part manifestor put together. And so they have both of those energies. So part of them here is to inform and initiate and get things rolling. And then the other side is they have the power and they have that energy consistently. So they can also say what they do and do what they say. So that's what makes them a little different than a manifestor. Is a manifestor doesn't have their sacral defined. So they don't have that abundance of energy all the time. They kind of get a little worn out. And that's why they always need their best friends, the generators, to come and help them out. But now that you have the manifesting generator put together in one human design energy type, they can do both. So and all of them are needed in different ways. And I think that is the beauty of human design, is like really understanding how your aura works, how you plug into others, and then how your gifts are. And there's so many like things that human design gives you that really like help you bring you back to your own true self.
So for someone who doesn't know what like sacral authority is, how would you explain it to them?
So your authority in human design is how you should make decisions. And the reason why it's so important, the first thing with human design is to understand your energy type, which is the 5 that I just gave you guys. The second one is your authority, because in order to understand how to use your human design type, like for example, I'm a projector. I'm not here to guide everybody. Not everybody needs to be guided by little Arlene. So, and for example, for Val, like not everybody needs Valerie's abundance and happiness and all that, right? So it's up to us to ask ourselves, when do we want to give that energy out? So that's where we come to our authority. So there's different types of authorities. So the sacral authority is all about asking yourself yes or no questions. It has to do with being in the gut. It's really about being satisfied, leading with desire, leading with pleasure, leading with play, which mine is totally different. Mine is splenic authority. Mine is more about intuition and what do I feel in the moment and in the now. So once you know those other little kinks about you, then you're able to like honor your energy. So for example, if somebody's like, hey, Arlene, I need your advice. Can you spend like a day with me at the coffee shop and help me with whatever? If I have an intuitive no, or if I have a feeling that's like, then I need to listen to that. Or if I'm like, oh, hell yeah, then it's like, okay, go with that. For you, for Valerie, she's a sacral authority, so she'd have to listen to her gut. And sometimes even check in, like, is it a yes or is it no? Because you guys make a lot of noises. So yes. So that's how the authority works. And that's another tool that people can use to really come back and really understand their energy. Because these days, like, we're all pulled all over the place sometimes. So when you really know what you're meant to be and how to use, then that's a helpful tool.
Are you watching Love is Blind UK?
Oh, no, we were going to start to watch it.
There's this guy on there, and he's a human design coach.
Oh, okay, I need to watch it.
And he talks about splenic authority in there and listening to his spleen. So I just thought it was really funny for any Love is Blind fans.
Yeah, I love that. Maybe that's another future podcast we peel the onion on.
Yes. Yeah, it was very interesting to watch him. to kind of like talk a little bit about Swenic authority. He doesn't go too much into spirituality, at least they don't show it on the show. But yeah, it just made me laugh.
Right. Yeah. Some authorities are more prominent than others. Like an emotional authority is about 50% of the world, where splenic authority, which is mine, is I think only like 28% or something like that, maybe even a little less. So yeah, not everybody is, but yeah, the bigger one is the emotional authority.
What would you say makes human design different from other tools like astrology or enneagrams or personality tests?
That's such a good question. That's a juicy one. For me, and from what I've been able to really use when I'm working with clients or when I'm leading retreats or workshops, is that I can bring in these different systems. So astrology is just astrology. It's a philosophy that comes from way back in the days, right? Where they studied the charts or they studied the energy and things like that. So a lot of it is about understanding the sky and reading the energies and all of the things that are tied to the zodiac signs, right? So it's very much like the archetypes of each zodiac sign and then how the planets all talk to each other and all that stuff. So human design has astrology in it. And then it also has my other next favorite, which is Ayurveda, which also stems from India. And that's been around forever, you know, just as long as astrology. And then it also has the I Ching in it, which is from China, and that's been around for God knows whenever too, right? So all of these modalities have come together and matched up and become human design. So what I love about it is that sometimes I can just glance over at an astrology chart and look at it with human design and with also factoring in the 9 energy centers, which are from Ayurveda. And the story just becomes deeper. It's not so like, oh yeah, you're like, for example, I'm a Virgo sun and you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I'm a Virgo sun and my sun is in the 46th gene key. Now that has its own story. And then where's gate 46 at in the Ayurveda chakra, in the body graph, in the energy centers? Oh, it's in the G center, which is all about the center of love. And then, oh, okay. So then you can kind of like tie everything all together. So I just love the layers, and that's probably is because I am a projector and I get the systems of things. So to give one prescription is great. Like I love astrology by itself. I love the I Ching by itself. I love Ayurveda by itself. But when you can literally come into a pharmacy and have somebody heal you with all these different things versus just one herbal mixture, it's like, here's one pill, but here's a tincture. You know, that's like the difference in how I see it.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. That was a great answer.
Thanks.
I loved it. I'm like, I know a little bit more about human design now, but that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What are some common like aha moments that people have when they first learn their design? So for like your first time clients.
I think the biggest one that they love to learn about is their human design energy type, and which was either going to be the manifestor, the generator, the projector, the reflector. And then the next thing that they really like wowed by is their authority, which was what we just talked about, like how you are here to make decisions. Then I think the next layer is sometimes when I go through the energy centers on like what they have defined and undefined, that gives them a lot more a way to use the chart in human design as a way to decondition and release what no longer serves you. Each one has a certain like little, what can I say? Each energy center has a certain theme. For example, there's the emotional center. And if you have that defined, then that means you take in emotions, but not as much as somebody who has it undefined. And the undefined has a harder time because they're like, well, what's my feeling? What's yours? Then once they get, sometimes that's just one that everybody's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me that. Because it's such a complex one. And we all have emotions. And so it's like one that gives you like, here's what's yours and here's what not. Here's the lesson and here's your lesson. And so I think that one's really helpful. And because it could also be somebody's authority. So it helps them understand that emotions, and it also helps them understand how to use it when it comes to their own authority. Yeah, that's that in a nutshell.
Nice. Is there anything that you wish more people understood about human design?
Yeah, I feel like what I would love people to do is not just take the easy way out and go to ChatGTP, because like I said, once you understand that there's 5 systems in human design and you understand each of them a little more individually and you can separate them, the more you can see the beauty of human design Ra Uru was the founder, and he got this big old download. So this is something new. This is like the baby of, I guess, philosophies when it like compared to like all of them, how they are individually. Okay. They've existed for thousands of years, but this guy got a download. I don't know what he was on.
Something good.
I had what he was having. He got a download, which I understand because Valerie and I have just done another ayahuasca round and we know those downloads. So he got a download and got all these things together and put it all together and made a philosophy. So it's been around since the like 80s. And so now, we're here now. And so I think it's even like younger than I am. So, but I feel like that's a system where if you really understand where each one comes from, it's so detailed and amazing. And you can actually just branch out to each separate little philosophy and like dumpster dive on that. But coming back all together is pretty cool. And I think it's kind of like the future, like AI. Like AI has so many things wrapped up in it. It's not just one thing. That this is kind of like, this is human design. It's like an AI version of all these philosophies.
Nice. Yeah. Going on a little sidetrack because I'm thinking how you mentioned getting the downloads and like being in ayahuasca again.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, before I like started on this spiritual journey, I never really knew what like astrology, tarot, like I didn't know any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think like being around you and now learning this a lot more, and also like having my human design chart for me and also doing ayahuasca, it has kind of opened up this door of, gosh, this is going to sound so corny. It's like when you're plugging into the Matrix and I just don't know. And if you haven't seen the Matrix, I really need you to go watch it. Even if you're like super young, you need to go watch it. It's just a classic movie. But I think there's so many ties to spirituality in there, because I remember when we first did ayahuasca, the shaman was like, oh, you'll never see the world the same.
Right.
And I was like, sure, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then now, and I'm like, the world is literally not the same. And I think the more that you open these different types of doors, like plant medicine, astrology, human design, it kind of opens this like peeling back an onion. I know we've got the gardener today.
Like every time every time. Anyway, sorry.
They don't want us to be great. No,
right. There goes that now energy just jumping on in.
Every door is kind of like peeling in a new layer to the onion. And I feel like human design is just such one of those like deep onion, like it's deep in the onion that the more you peel back, you're starting to learn more about yourself, about others, about how you interact with others, how you interact with the world. And it's just brought in this like a key to life.
Yeah. It's like an unlocked pathways. And that's something that came up a lot, which we'll do another episode on our really recent ayahuasca experience. But yeah, it's 100% like you're plugging in, like you just said, into the matrix, because that's really what it is all about. Each philosophy that I've broken down, like the gene keys, that's a whole like that has to do with like genetic coding and stuff, and amino acids and light and stars and all that stuff, right? So all of them are just so deep and have so much meaning. And the basis of them all are to bring you back to who you are and to not forget where you come from, which is the universe and whoever created that. I mean, whoever you believe in created our universe that we live in. It's to bring you back to that place. And that can be different for everybody. You can believe in God, you can believe in goddesses, you can believe in anything, but all of them are trying to point you back to the North Star in its own way.
Yeah. Nice. One reason why I would recommend to other people to like go to you or through your course, because I remember when I got my first human design reading, I read it and I was like, what?
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's like a fire hose of just information. And I'm just like, okay, I have a sacral authority. I'm a generator. What is it? The cross of love. I'm a 1-3. And I was just, and then there's like all of the little gates in there that are also different. Like even for across generators are all different to each person. And I looked at it last night and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like Arlene told me like I should listen to my ums or my nms.
All your sounds.
Yeah. Or like not, I guess one of them was, what was it? It was feeling like accomplished or like I had done enough so that I can rest well. And being like being fulfilled versus when I'm not doing things that fulfill me, then I feel frustrated and I'm like, oh damn, I've been feeling a little bit frustrated lately. Like I need to tap into more into that. But I feel like if you have a course or you're certified in it, or if you have like a spiritual leader or mentor to help guide you through it, it's a lot easier. You don't have to like go through all these back and forth. It's kind of, I guess, from my perspective, kind of like a therapist where you have like that check-in. Like I would have biweekly check-ins with my therapist, and it was just really nice to get me back on track, because a lot of times I can be in the brain and just be super logical, but I have to like let go. And I really like human design for that aspect, because it gives you that new tool, kind of like therapists do. They give you a tool, a skill set to be able to adapt to life and everything that's happening in life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your user's manual.
Literally.
The cars used to come with a user's manual. This is yours. And I personally, I started working with a business coach, and I loved that she knew about human design, not as much as I know, but she knows we have the same energy type. She's a projector. She's a 1-3 profile. So just her being that same as me makes me feel like, well, okay, I can't run my business the same way a generator can or a manifestor can. And just those little things, even in business, has been so, so helpful. This is why the certification is really also great for business owners and business leaders. And because it's not just a tool for you, it's a tool for you and your business. And it's a tool for you to really stick to and like not lose track, because, usually when you own your own business, like you're the billboard, you're the person that people are being attracted to. So you have to do it in a certain way that radiates with others. Because the whole point is, it's human design. We want to plug into each other. But if you're in the shadow aspects of your human design chart, then you're just going to get all those shadow aspects reflected back. But if you're in alignment and you're using your aura's radiating the way it's meant to attract, then you don't got to work as hard. So it's also just like a tool to work smarter, not harder. And it's also a way for you to run your business and for you to look into your business and see how do I attract clients? What are my unique gates that come to the table? Which ones are more prominent? Which ones do I really need to like bring in and focus on? Which ones are a little softer that aren't like more personal, right? So human design will give you that, because I definitely do use it for my business a lot. And I remind my business coach, like, I know you just told me that I need to go like reach into the DMs, but that's like that's just not how a projector's meant to like work and reach out to people. So I'm going to challenge you. What's another way I can do it? So this helps you, like you said, going to the therapist. Well, therapist, actually, this is what I know about me. And now you can kind of have something to be like, no, here's my manual. Let me bring it out. So that's really helpful for business development and even for yourself personally, personal development.
Amazing. You answered my questions before I even asked them.
Oh, perfect.
I love it. Okay. So I want to dive into a little bit more about the certification course now. So what can people expect when they join the certification?
To geek out. You could expect that one of the biggest things that I've taken courses on a lot of these modalities and philosophies. And one of the biggest things that I left with was feeling a little like, okay, now I know all the things, but like, how do I put them into practicum? How do I create a business if that's what I'm wanting to do? Or also, how can I support my already clientele? What does that look like? Because you gave me all this information, but I need to know, like, how do I embody it? How do I put it into practice? So with my certification course, it's all live. There's going to be, modules breaking down each week. We'll be doing calls that are like live, group setting. And then, if you can't make a live call, you can watch the replay or whatever, right? But the thing is that it's live. And that is pretty helpful, because what I've been in past certification programs for myself, I liked being in those live calls, because if somebody's asking a question, maybe I hadn't thought about it, or maybe I already have that same question, or even just hearing somebody's learning process is a little different, then that helps me like metabolize the information better. So I like the experience of learning with everybody else and then being able to ask questions to the person who you're, being led with. But the biggest thing that I'm excited is the mastermind immersive retreat. That's where we're still with each other. We've learned all the information. We've went back and forth on all the different modules. Hopefully by that time at the end, not hopefully, but you all should be connected with each other. And then we head straight into a retreat for about 2.5 days. And this retreat is really meant for you to walk away with, live reading practice. Also for you to experience what it looks like to host a human design workshop, like with a group. And then also to leave with some branding. So you'll have some photos done with you, reading charts and all that stuff. And then you'll have some video that will show like you doing actual readings and things like that. And then you can use those to, launch your reading business, or you can use those to say, hey, this is something that I'm bringing to the table. Because social media is such a big thing. And video is so important because we use that to attract clients and all that stuff. So you can leave here with already, or you can leave me with already having that little like media kit in a sense. But also my supervision on, just guiding you and supporting you and, giving you a framework of like how I've done workshops in the past for, retreats, or how I've done it just for individual, how can I say it, like community workshops. And then also just the one-on-one, readings. So you'll get practice readings with real life people. And I'll be there to kind of like, give you that framework ahead of time, but then also just give you that support with no pressure. Like the point is like, we're here to play. And then also at that retreat, we will do some like embodiment practices. We'll do some stuff to really get you into that leadership feeling like, or if there's any blockages or misalignments that you're feeling within yourself that's holding you back, we're also going to work on a lot of personal development and looking at your own chart and dumpster diving on that. So we'll dumpster dive on a couple of deep workshops that you will learn with everybody else. And then you will also get your own practice, and then you'll get your little like, okay, it's, here's all the tools I have to start my business. And then we're going to do some celebration. We're going to have a nice dinner, get to know your fellow cohorts a little more, and hopefully establish long-term relationships and connections. But during the 10 weeks, we will just, we'll be online. We're going to have some breaks because it starts October 15th. And then we're going to go all the way into January. And then January 9th, 10th, and 11th is going to be the immersive retreat. But the thing about I like this is it's not like a 10-week flow just because of the holidays, but at least you have your Thanksgiving break and you're going to have your Christmas break for 2 weeks. So those are the times to play catch up. Those are the times to kind of like really just take everything in. And I almost feel like I might do that for every cohort that I get together, because I feel like if you just go, then you're learning, but you're not really allowing yourself to take it in and really ponder deeply. We're going to be in a community aspect. So there'll be a community where you can chat with each other, chat with me. And then we're also going to do a couple bonus sessions where we'll do a little bit of embodiment practice, where we'll tie in, I might have guest speakers. We might do some little breath work sesh. So other stuff too to help you just really like decompress and get into that flow and tap into your own human design. Because I feel like, yeah, you're going to learn about yourself, but I really want you to embody yourself, because if I had to embody myself first before I even taught or tried to open up somebody's chart. So I think it's really trying to get you to like dive deeper with yourself too. So you're going to be your own case study.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. So you covered a lot of like what makes your program unique, how you're structuring it. Are they going to be in a community too together?
Yes, you guys will be in, it's called Circle. So I liked Circle because they also have a community, like little section where, you guys can all chat like, hey, I'm not getting something, or hey, or, oh my God, I found this thing, or hey, here's like a link to this Instagram meme that I found. That's hilarious, right? Like to bring everybody together, because in my chart, I have a lot of stuff in the 11th house in astrology, which is all about community, and bringing that community aspect to the certification program is something really important to me. And being a reader can be really lonely sometimes. Like, I don't know of anybody that reads astrology charts in San Diego, or even human design charts for that matter. I'm sure y'all exist out there, but we probably haven't crossed paths. We're not besties. So it'd be nice to have some good people that and I've connected with like my people that I've been in other stuff online, but that's great, right? But it's like, I feel like that's where the retreat really matters, because now you're like really connected and you have your little family. And so that's something that's important, that community aspect, bringing you guys all together to really like create bonds and friendships, I think is something that's amazing and can really be supportive in the long run for your business or for your development. If you're just taking this course to even take it for personal development, I think that's something that is also like, it's on the table.
Love it. So what kinds of transformations are you hoping to have your students experience, or what is your vision for how getting all of these people to become human design practitioners will impact the collective?
Yeah, I'm hoping that the more people know about human design and have such awareness around it, the more we're able to help our world heal and bring people back to their true selves, because everybody is just so much it's hard to, like, I have kids who are, in the social media, like they on TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff, right? I didn't have that growing up. I just came home and I was like, well, this is back to me. That's it. But now nobody has that anymore. There's no time alone. And there's so many things that can influence the way that we think that we are, the way we think we could be perceived, and all the anxieties and all these things that everybody's having in this modern world, that I'm excited to see others teaching others. I think my biggest thing about this is I love community, right? But I also love teaching. So to see other people teach them how to love themselves, which pings even to my human design and Valerie's human design, our incarnation cross is the vessel of love. It's to really allow others to embody who they really are and bring them something, that all the tools to love themselves back if they've fallen out of love, or to fall even deeper in love with themselves. And the only way to do that is to literally know who you are at your core at the soul level. And that's like what I'm hoping. I want everybody to live in the soul and not like live only through the body. I like to say, like, one of my metaphors when I tell people this, I'm like, we can either live our lives being the Tesla car that drives itself on automatic, and the human sitting in it, and the human being the soul. The soul's just sitting back in the car while the Tesla's driving itself. Or we could be the actual person who's in the car and is aware of their soul, but now we're driving that Tesla and we're like, we want to put it on autopilot when we can and we can't, but we can choose. So it's either you can drive your car with no awareness, which would be the body, or you can let the soul drive the car and let the soul dictate where the car is going to go. So that's kind of like a modern metaphor, I guess, of human design.
Oh, it's fantastic. I get it.
Everybody knows a Tessie. I mean, I have one, even though sometimes I was like, but whatever, it's here.
Okay, so in closing, what's like one final thing that you want people to take away from this conversation about human design?
The final thing is that if you join my certification, you will be in good hands. I am somebody who really prides myself on the things that I've learned. I try the best that I can to not appropriate things. So anything that we do learn, and you're going to learn a lot. You're not just going to learn about human design. I'm going to try the best I can in 10 weeks to teach you about at least each individual modality, because that's important to me. It's important to always give the creators their credit. So that's really important. And then the biggest thing that I'm super excited about is to just bring diversity and inclusion to the spiritual reading realms, to really give a program that supports diversity and inclusion in the spirituality realms. So I do offer a scholarship. There's a few spots for partial or full scholarships for BIPOC women or those who identify as BIPOC women to, apply. And from there, be a part of this change, this movement, because that's what I think it is. It's a movement. Any type of spirituality, philosophy, and things like that is all a movement that our world is sometimes not ready for. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to see people think about spirituality different and really diversify what it looks like and who can also be at the table as well.
Yeah, I think my takeaway about human design for people would be to reflect on what your human design energy type and sacral authority is. I feel like you mentioned earlier, those two keys are very important, and just open up so many doors, I think, when you do understand it and when you can embody it. And if you don't know human design, you're not familiar with it, then I think this course is a great opportunity for you to not only learn it, embody it, but also to share it. So where can they find out more information about your course?
You can go to my website, lunasoulwellness.com. There should be a tab there for human design certification. And then click on that landing page. There's a lovely video where I explain everything. It's like 10 minutes, but hey, you're going to want to know all the things that's there. And then you can also hop on a 15-minute clarity call. So if you have questions, if you're like, hey, this payment plan doesn't quite work for me, or, whatever it is, right? You can hop on that call and we can chat one-on-one. And hopefully I can help, support your questions and really get you with us. I think it'll be an amazing experience.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Congratulations. This is amazing.
I've been wanting to do this for like 3 to 4 years. So
a long time. Yes.
Finally birthing.
Good things take time. And so I'm really excited for everyone to see it. I'm excited for the first cohort to go through it and to see them practicing it, because just seeing like all of our friends, especially our entrepreneur friends, they come to you, and also for couples.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're like always going to Arlene for so much. We have like all these questions. And so I think like more people knowing this tool, this, human design as a skill set, I think will just make it so much better for the world. So
right.
I'm really excited.
And you can like remind your besties, like I do my besties. I'm like, hey, you're whatever energy type. Oh, don't forget. Like I'm always reminding people of their charts. So I'm like the little mother, like, hey, don't forget,
Don't push. You're supposed to pull.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for asking all these wonderful questions. Thank you for your time as well, Valerie. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, follow us on all of the Instagram, social media pages. Visit Arlene's website, lunasoulwellness.com, to get more information about the course. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Espiritu Coffee Chats.
We hope you enjoyed our conversation and found a little inspiration to take with you.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more.
Until next time, keep the spirit alive and the coffee brewing. Cheers! Ow, ow, ow.